Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Dan John. We're back again for the weekly Q&A podcast with the legendary strength coach himself. Dan, how has your past week been? What's been happening?
Okay,
How's your lifting? All that, yeah.
okay. Things are good and things are bad. The best of times, the worst of times. Weighed 202 yesterday, so that's a
Ooh.
modern era PR outside of that little problem I had from the Middle East. And then I also had some PRs in the old lifts yesterday, which makes me very happy.
Wow. So going up in one direction, going down in another, and both of those in the right direction, right?
Yeah, getting my. I'm nudging my daily walk total to 11,000, so that's not a problem. But it's when I'm slowly trying to up my walking, and I want to make it as natural as, I don't want it to be a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. How do I say? Sometimes this, we do things in our before we make them habits, they become a thing that's not repeatable, and
A thing, yeah. Don't yeah, I get it. I know what you're
yeah,
saying. Don't
yeah,
don't want it to be a thing. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm going to drink half a glass of apple cider vinegar every day before every meal. Well, that's a thing. I don't see it as repeatable or doable.
So
And
with your so talk about your walks a little bit, not just the steps. You still doing the heavy hands? Are you doing that all the time? Are you
no,
doing
no,
are you
no.
doing the vest at all? I know people are big under the vest right
Oh,
now. What
I still have all that, and people who train with me use them. But what because I'm trying to keep a okay. So technically, I should get 2,700 calories a day. So I try to stay at 26 or 25. So I have a minor caloric deficit. If I push the rucking, the heavy hands, the complexes, the circuit training, I get hung. I will start to nudge. So I'll eat more to compensate. High intensity makes me eat highly, high high amounts. Okay.
it's not uncommon, right? I mean, the high intensity stuff really just sort of can crank the appetite. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do right now is eat. So just do the 1 or 200 calories. Do the extra walking. Now the extra walking at my size probably. I'm just making this up. Say it gets 300 calories. So basically I'm trying to work out to about a pound a month. You know,
Yep.
and so if I push anything on the cardio or the high intensity side, I just compensate within a few days by either it becomes that glass of apple cider vinegar before every meal. It,
Yeah.
it's a great plan. It don't work, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. You brought up something that's I think worth chatting about. Doesn't get enough attention, probably because it's just would be impossible to generalize. It's probably pretty person by person. That's types of exercise or even specific exercises that just make you ravenous. Um, and you should think about that, right? Because if you're trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
you might be fighting against yourself. I mean, I will tell you that for whatever reason, it's not all high intensity exercise, but deadlifts. If I really push deadlift training, I'm insatiable,
Yeah.
right? Right. Like
Well,
it's specifically that. Like I can go heavy with lots of other lifts and be okay, but as soon as I start really pushing it there for whatever reason, it gets pretty wild. So if I'm trying to still do heavy stuff, but keep my appetite under control, like part of me is like, all right, maybe I shouldn't. This isn't the time to really go crazy on the deadlift. So yeah, talk about that a little bit, Dan.
yeah.
I think
And
there's something here.
you say something I think it's now you got to remember most of my career I didn't these sentences I'm saying I don't care even a little bit. Okay. Because you want to throw far, you want to knock people down. No one cares whether you have a six pack or not. Yeah, I mean, end of the football season you'll have one because you're just burning crisp. But so there are some exercises that I've read that people don't recommend for body composition changes to lower your lean body mass. Well, for example, squats and deadlifts, and it's like, whoa! I mean, half my brain just screamed. The Sith have taken over the
Right. What is
empire.
this madness? Yeah.
What is this? And but if you're trying to, I mean, I quote Art Devaney on this all the time. He's not always the best, but the woman asked him, "How do you lose body fat?" And he said, "Don't get fat in the first place." But
Brilliant advice.
great advice, but one of the things, if you're trying to lose body fat, then those big, I mean, the squat and the deadlift, whatever makes, for example, when I do my little sprints, my grade 8, that has no impact on my hunger at all. None.
Yeah. Yeah. Like some high intensity things like sprints for me, no, like they're conducive, but it's kind of case by case, exercise by exercise for me. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't continue. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, but for me, doing complexes, makes me ravenous.
Yeah.
That's why complexes and high rep squats are my book, Mass Made Simple. Boo. I mean, it's just, that stuff works because it also kicks in that hunger, and you get that, we used to call it, free puberty, or, secondary puberty, you just all of a sudden start growing.
Like that, yeah.
But so if you're doing it like I'm doing it, like I'm not losing weight for a wedding coming up in 2 weeks, and then I'm going to just middle finger the world and go back to what I was doing, finish bitches, or whatever. I'm trying to make this. I'm trying to make the new. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make me the new me. I'm not.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'm not going to try to pump up and get ready for a Highland game, bulk up for a shot put contest. Just stay, feel good, look good, move well. So the walking, the 10,000 steps, the 11 with that minor caloric, drop, caloric intervention really, is just, and the idea is that over a week period, I just nudge. Most people would not, probably, it would take years to even notice 100 calorie deficit a day. Years. You just don't. Once you set up your how much, get your water, get your protein, here are your total calories. Everything else kind of works out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else kind of works out. But at 2,600 calories, that's a lot of food. Now, it's not a lot of potato chips, and it's not a lot of slices of bread, and it's not, it's not a lot of pancakes or French toast, but it is a lot of steak and apples, and I'm just a berry,
hard-boiled egg, right?
Try to get So I'm eating 2,600 calories a day in hard-boiled eggs. Said no one ever. I don't know how many that would be. I mean, you're looking at Cool Hand Luke level of making yourself sick. Yeah.
That's great. I want to come back to the walking thing here in a minute, but the exercise thing has my attention because obviously people think about, okay, does this exercise hit a lot of muscle groups? Does it burn a lot of calories? Is it going to facilitate muscle growth? But it's worth considering, like, how does it affect other things too, like your hunger? And in some cases, like if you're trying to gain weight, lean into that, because I'll tell you that's an issue for me, is that, and some people hate me for this, but my issue has always been eating enough, right? It's kind of easy for me to undereat. I don't know. I just don't have a naturally big appetite. So I kind of need, like, whenever I'm really trying to put some weight on, I need a little bit of help there. So I want the exercises that make me ravenous. And yeah, there's a few, and the deadlift is at the sort of top of that list. I know, we had a comment here from Joe, and he says, high rep barbell clean and press make me hungry as crazy. So it's just something to consider. It goes back to the idea, hey, everything's kind of connected. Everything matters. You might just have a particular lift.
Yeah.
Like, all right, maybe you lean into this one or lean away from this one, depending on what your body composition goals. And I bet there's probably, I bet for a lot of people, the clean and press is in there, but I bet there's also just some, some uniqueness, right? So it's just worth keeping in mind. It's worth thinking about. Yeah.
And if you're doing it like I'm doing, a 4-year approach, and now, I mean, it might be longer now or lesser, I don't know, but where you're just trying to get that, what I'm trying to see over in a week, it looks like this. In a month, it looks like this. In a year, it looks like this.
Yeah.
In 4 years, it looks like it fell off the table, but it's so for me, I'm and I mean, for those of you who don't know, I mean, the three biggest caloric burns each listener does every day are in order: walking, sitting, and sleeping. Those are the biggest caloric. You just me sitting in a chair probably will burn 220, 2,200 calories, 2,400 calories a day. My brain is going to burn 20% of my calories. So watching Days of Our Lives is going to burn 20% of my calories. Okay?
Love Boat? What's that? Is it
Love Boat reruns? Love American Style reruns. Happy Days.
yeah.
Go to
General Hospital.
General Hospital. It's going to burn. So the amount you actually burn in exercise is always been extremely disappointing. And then the post exercise burn, which was such a big deal for a while, when people actually measure it, you do EPOC, you do.
It's a thing, but it's often grossly overstated. And that's what I tell people, like, look, yes, different exercises burn different amounts of calories, but the overall difference in the grand scheme of things compared to what's going on the nutrition side for most people most of the time is grossly overstated. Like, if you're Michael Phelps, fine, you can eat whatever you want, right? Like, you can out exercise a bad diet if you're an Olympic athlete training in the United States. But for most people,
in the swimming pool,
right? But
the water draws more.
But most people are not Michael Phelps, right? Training that much every single day. So yeah, you can consider it. It's a thing. It's worth thinking about, but it's the kind of thing that, like, couple of them little bite-sized Butterfingers, they're gonna close that gap very quickly, right? Yeah.
I've been thinking about doing this little additional podcast thing for a while, where I just simply talk about serving sizes, and I think I've mentioned the Tostitos thing with the bag is 17 serving sizes, and if you blackjack them out, you're shocked how few chips are a serving size of 170 calories. It is about a palmful, but if you go like this and crush them and dust them, you take chips and you put that, it would be a couple of tablespoons worth of food.
Yeah.
70. Whereas the Premier Protein drink is 160 calories, so it's 10 less calories, but it's got 30 grams of protein. If I could probably on a bet eat an entire bag of chips, I don't think I could eat 17 bag protein drinks.
No. Yeah.
We're back to the Cool Hand Luke again.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, off the top of my head, if you just like made your diet centered around salmon and turkey and hard-boiled eggs and raw almonds and those colorful vegetables, and
olives and red peppers,
red peppers, and even olive oil. Throw a little bit of that on there, and some leaner red meats and cottage cheese and unsweetened Greek yogurt. Like, if that's the only stuff you eat, like, you're not gonna have to think and worry about a whole lot. You're just really like, things will kind of become auto-regulated, and then kind of whatever exercise you throw on top of that will be pretty conducive for shaving the fat off. You might want to, do more specific things if you want to, like, build muscle and strength. But, like, if you get your diet around those types of things, everything else will just kind of fall in line, more or less, right? And potato chips were not on that list, or or Pringles. Pringles count.
One quick thing. I did work in the backyard right before, and I have a spider's web in my hair. So
that always freaks me out, because if there's the web on you, you think the killer's on you too. Yeah. So I always freak out.
Yeah. So I love this conversation. In fact, almost every book I write, I include my superfoods lists. There's certain foods always make it. Water, coffee, the olive family, and salmon almost make every superfood list. And
olives are so great. I mean, just get a little jar of those, and, like, boom boom, bada boom, bada bing, right? They're tasty, they're salty, they're healthy.
One other thing, Patrick, and this is why most people are And the Scarecrow of Oz, L. Frank Baum, has a character say, ordinary people are leaves on trees. They die and they fall off. I like the extraordinary ones. But most people don't understand that. Most people live in the middle. If you try to bulk up, in the book, Mass Made Simple, I talk about eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and having my athletes literally walk around with a loaf of bread, a spreading knife, peanut butter and jelly, so they can pound. And people say, well, why? I go, because it's really effing hard to consume enough calories to truly grow.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard.
And it's
yeah.
really hard to walk away from ultra processed foods at a party. And it's really hard after 3 martinis for me to turn down the 4th one. That's the way we are wired. Lay's potato chips. I bet you can't just eat one.
That's
because they're engineered to make.
If it's got a slogan or a mascot, stay away. If it's got a mascot, so I like that's the simple rule. If there's a mascot with this thing, if it's a clown, or or a guy with a weird looking mustache, just Broccoli doesn't have a mascot, so far as I know, right?
Well, Chiquita Banana used to have one, but
okay.
I digress. Yeah,
the exception that proves the rule. Sure. Yeah.
So, for those of you who are coming in later and missing the point, he asked me about why I'm not rucking or heavy hands or doing some of that more intense stuff. It's because I'm trying to stay away from my calorie nudgers. Because for me, dropping that 100 calories a day, or maybe a little bit more now, eating more protein, more fruit, more vegetables, that has to be my laser beam. And if I really push it hard, we were talking a while ago. Sorry for a final segue here.
No, this is great. Yeah, this is cute. Yeah, post your questions into listeners. We'll get there in a minute, but this is good stuff. So Dan, keep going. Yep.
We used to go to breakfast every day after our workouts, and I began to notice, first off, the scale, the body, my morning weigh-in was going in the wrong direction. But I also noticed I could pick up what days were we used to have these workouts that went for about an hour and 15 minutes. Hundreds of kettlebell swings, 3 or 4 different variations of presses. We were doing this experiment to chase hypertrophy with kettlebells.
Right.
And it's a great program, a lot of fun, but you would just vacuum up 4 pieces of rye toast before you ate your shredded potatoes, before you ate your omelet.
Yep.
And there's 3,000 calories, and I'm only supposed, it's gonna be hard to fix that.
Yep.
So I'd rather nudge the walk up and nudge the calorie down. Oh, one other thing I just want to make sure before. A very close friend of mine, my old roommate, guy I coached with for years, died last week, and so
very sorry to hear that, Dan.
Tomorrow's his funeral, and tonight's the wake and everything, and the rosary. But his name is John, and I have 100 funny stories. I just want to do one quick shout out to when I got back from the Middle East and I was not doing well physically. He would knock on my door in the morning because I was sleeping 12 plus hours every night. And he would get my ass out of bed, and we did the Wasatch Front hikes. We bought the little booklet with the 47 hikes, and in 47 days we did them all.
Yeah.
And by the way, some of the hikes, folks, are 200 feet. It's from you park and you walk to this thing and you walk away.
Serious business. Yeah.
Some of them are 6, 7, 8 hour hikes. So
yeah. Hey, well, God rest him in our sincere condolences, Dan. Yeah. Always very sad to hear that. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to some questions here. Lots of good stuff. Keep dropping them in, gentle listeners. And as always, Dan, thank you for entertaining my random thoughts. But I hope that they are of help to people. All right. Our friend Joe has a question. He says, "Hey, I'm planning on retirement in 3 to 5 years. And he wants a plan for after retirement. Any ideas or suggestions about how to keep motivated at work while waiting to retire?" Okay, sorry, I got that wrong. He has a plan for what to do after retirement. He wants to stay motivated at work while he's waiting to retire. Dan, any thoughts on this for our friend Joe?
Joe, that's it's an assignment we did in our financial inner circle intentional community, and I'll be doing it in the inner circle in the future. But Joe, it's called the Buckets of Life assignment, and it's just something I want you to think about. So you go. It was in my Wandering Weights. It's you take these buckets. So it's 0 to 15 years, 16 to 30, 31 to 45, 46 to 60, 61 to 75, where you might be 76 to 90, and then 90 plus. And you just go back like for. Do you mind me ramble for about a minute?
No, this is great. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So one interesting thing I picked up was my 0 through 15 is that, so we had the Great Books program. So I learned how to read and be, kind of insightful about, conversations. I learned how to lift weights from 0 to 15. I learned how to type. I got a great education, and I competed at a high level because in even a street football game or a family picnic, I was competing as Division I athletes as a sixth grader. Okay. If someone had sat me down in 1967 and said, you're going to make your living as a fitness writer, I might not have taken that typing course because I was a writer. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So as you go back, you look at these little things that came up at that time, 16 to 30 bucket. My daughter really liked the assignment because when she saw it, because she goes, wow, it says here from about 31 to 45 that money starts to roll in finally. And I said, yeah, it kind of does. And then from 46 to 60, for most people I know, that's when probably you have your health, if you're not an idiot. You're fairly comfortable. You're active as hell because of the kids and what else, but when you get to that, Joe, when you get to that next bucket, 61 to 75, you've got to look beyond just looking beyond. Nobody retires like they think. I got to tell you that from the heart. Very few people. Well, I'm gonna, Dick Nottmeyer did. He and Joy got rid of their house and bought an RV and drove around the country, and they did that for 2 years. And then he visited me in Salt Lake, and he says, I'm just so sick of being on the road. And other people say
surprise me, yeah.
They're going to see the world, and then they take one Carnival cruise to the Mexican Riviera or something. That's not seeing the world. That's seeing tourists, So you got to be in a place where every bucket teaches you things, and gives you lessons, but it also allows you to see the cascade from this to there. So I want you to think, Joe, what were you thinking about, when you started working in your 20s, say, Joe, what were you thinking about? What did you want from this career? Because you might be in a place, the last 3 years of your career, you might mentor some people into phenomenal careers and lifestyles. I know, Joe, because I know you, you can be a role model for things like healthy lifestyle and don't being too stupid about training. You can have conversations with people you interact with on a daily basis that maybe change their life. And as you're having that conversation, you might sit back and go, this is what the appropriate thing. I always appreciate there's a place, I want to say it's a Greek festival. I could be wrong though, where you have a 3-year reign as the person who runs it. The first year, you just stand with the person who runs it. The second year, you run it. The third year, you train your successor. I think it might not be the Greek festival, but it's something. I think it's something. But the idea on that is your job is to be, and by the way, the word is not mentee, it's telemachus. You learn at the foot of the master, you take over and you scramble, and then you pass it on, and then you're done. 3-year commitment, and you're done.
You're done.
And the nice thing about, when you're saying about the last couple of years of your career, think 3 and out, but what can you share? What can you help? And boy, take care of any business you need to take care of, whatever.
Yeah. I like that. There's just a I'm not retiring anytime soon, but I think that there's certainly a mentality, and doesn't have to be with respect to one's professional career of just checking out when they're kind of close to the finish line and phoning things in. I don't like this. I mean, you see this even with high schoolers, senior year, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And I don't like this. I don't think it's dignified, right? Especially if you've had a good career and you've had a good employer and they've been good to you. I think you owe it to finish well and finish a job well and leave as much goodness behind as you can. And you should take pride in that. You should be excited about that, and you shouldn't miss those opportunities for your own enrichment, especially if it's in, I mean, you see this particularly in education, right? The closer somebody gets to the finish line, it just, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't think that's the right attitude to have in education or one's job or anything like that. I think that the high road is to, yeah, this is what you committed to. This is what you signed up for. This is what you were paid to do. Finish well, finish strong, finish doing a good job. Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can remember so many high school students just blowing off the last month or two. And I was always thinking, you realize you're 17 or 18, right? If you think you're fit. Oh, and then,
yeah, I know, right?
You think about high school graduation. Can you believe we did it? Did what?
What did you do? What did you do, man?
Your mom made you breakfast. Your mom made you dinner. You ate cafeteria food. You sat in the desk. And honestly, if you just show up, you're going to get a B. And well, at the high school I used to work out, now you get an A for sitting in the classroom. And you didn't do anything, and that's why I always think it's so important. And this is an Earl Nightingaleism, Joe. Earl talked about when you're writing a book, very often the next book you want to start writing the next book. I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Why, in fact, I really need to get back and clean up some notes and put something together. But yeah, okay, yeah.
No, that's a great thought, and hopefully it generalizes and is something to keep in mind for everybody, at some level, right? Yeah. Good. Okay, let's keep going here. Good questions, keep them coming. Gentle listeners, Anthony has more of a comment. He says he's currently epically failing to keep his calories controlled, but mom's cooking is currently more important than keeping a diet this week.
Yeah. Well, and at your daughter's wedding, at you're at the bar mitzvah, whatever. It's okay to feast. There's nothing wrong with feasting, but in theology, we always say first the fast, then the feast.
Indeed.
And I've used that to be I wish I would have taught that better as a teacher instructor.
And how much better the feast is once you've done the fast, right? Yeah.
And so, and one of my knocks, I was at a kid's house, this a long time ago, and his third grade trophy, for third grade, flag football trophy was about this big. Okay. I mean, this big. Okay. And what I got for winning a really big thing when I was in college was about this big. So the third grade trophy was bigger than a bodybuilding contest trophy. And, but at the highest level, my daughter, Lindsay, was shocked how small her state championship medal is. And I go, well, yeah, but it's what it represents. It's not and so I worry with these young athletes, these young kids coming up, is that they're feasting, mom, dad, grandparents are at every game. At halftime, they get orange slices and 6 Gatorades and 22. I guess for some reason you have to have lots of sugar after you pick daisies for an hour. And when you go off to the next level, it's not like that. High school, at high school football, at least when I played, they don't hand out popsicles at halftime.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I think I told you this before. I used to run into the showers, turn the water on, the cold water in the shower, and go like this to get water.
Just drink it, yeah.
So our half times, we were always just soaking wet coming out of half times because half the team would be drinking out of the shower water. Thank God, because otherwise it'd be toilet water, So, and it's perfectly okay to feast. Just remember that there is a cycle in life. And you're welcome, Joe, by the way. Thank you.
Good. All right. Next question is from our friend Edward. He says, do you have any recommendations for postpartum exercises or workout programs to strengthen the pelvic floor? He's asking for his wife.
Yeah. I'm not an expert. I'm certainly not qualified, but one of the things, Original Strength has some people, I don't know. The book might be finished. Original Strength for postpartum. One of the things that really helps is practicing diaphragm breathing, but then and there's a lock. It's sometimes called the anal lock, and I'm sorry to be so graphic. Anal lock. Are also the PC exercise, and I don't remember what PC stands for, but where you connect deep diaphragm breathing with those squeezes back. I have been told that there are some lifting exercises, the hip thrust, obviously any kind of a squat family, but you have to practice the squeeze, the pinch, okay? But I feel like I'm already out of my qualification. I do know that there's some good people out there. I usually recommend people look up Sarah Smith. She was a RKC who really was the first person I ever talked to. This may be back.
She's a good resource on this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Sarah Smith, if she's still doing it, she's been doing this for at least 20 plus years. And most people who help on this have been doing it for 20 plus minutes. So
yeah. Experience does make a difference often. Yeah. All right. So let us keep going here. Great questions, everyone. Keep them coming. Let me scroll past some comments here. All right. Tom has a question. Any suggestions for micro workouts to complement the Armor Building Formula or EMOM Club? What do we mean by micro workouts here, Tom? Dan, maybe you have an idea. Is this something?
But it would be complement with an E. Tom, geez, come on now. Sorry. I've told you the story, haven't I? Where I had the sign up there that said all training is complimentary. And the person running the thing came, they took my PowerPoint and edited it. And so all training is complimentary. Oh my God. I love I love your outfit when you do front squats.
Yep.
Love what you've done with your hair.
But that'll still be $50.
Yeah. I don't know what you mean by micro workouts. I'm famed for my microaggressions. A woman came up to me at a workshop when I said, okay, guys, let's get started. And she said that calling guys was a microaggression.
Prison, right to prison.
And I thought to myself, I need to leave society for a while. That's what I thought.
Yep. So I don't know, like sometimes we talk about, Dan, the idea of little movement snacks. Maybe this is the idea. Do you have any things you're doing for just little things throughout the day just to keep the body
out of bed
moving?
Get out of bed and walk 2,500 steps, sit down and talk with Pat Flynn, pop up, go walk for 5,000 steps, have breakfast, do a podcast. Yeah, that's what I do. Mow the lawn. I mean,
mow the lawn is great. Especially if you have a decent size yard and you're still pushing something, you're not riding something. It's great. Yeah.
So I got rid of my lawn guy, and because I realized that I was giving away lots and lots and lots of steps every day.
It's good quality steps.
So I have folks. It's called Ego. It's a very quiet electric lawnmower. So I'm now mowing 4 days a week. It's kind of funny what I'm doing. I mow one direction one day, I mow another. Then
because the battery dies, right?
No. This actually works really well. But
I have to check that one out because I had an electric mower. Sorry to interrupt, but I would have to take 4 days to mow it because it just kept the battery would say charge. So I'd only be able to mow. My yard always looked ridiculous because I would be able to mow like about a quarter until not one, but both of the batteries died.
Whoa!
And I'd had to recharge them overnight, mow the next quarter the next day. It was the most tedious, stupid thing in the world. But anyways, continue. Yeah.
So what I'm doing is going this way, and then I do the front lawn the next day, do the back lawn that way, do the front lawn that way, and it's kind of fun because it's giving me a whole bunch of, it's just cheap steps. If I don't feel like going for a, a walk around the neighborhood or the mall, I just get those. Though I do yeah, most weeks I mow twice a week, but I was trying that. And I don't know. It's a very easy way to sneak in 1,000 or 2 steps.
And if you want to get more, I mean, go for the whatever electric mower I had, because the thing would only work if the grass was already really short, right? If the grass was tall, it would just die right away because it was just so awful.
You need to step up your game.
So I had to, like keep this thing. I was mowing the grass like every day, more or less.
Yeah.
Lean as a leaf.
I don't know what it's like where you live, but here it's so I keep my lawn at least the height of my hand from here to here, and that is what I mow to, is almost, what is that, 5 or 6 inches?
Yeah.
But flat, because here in Utah, that hot, we had a dry wind. We get those dry, hot winds.
Yep.
Your lawn is low. It's straw.
No, we're pretty lush out here, so the grass grows thick and quick most of the time. Yeah,
you have humidity there, right?
We got humidity. Yep. Yeah. So if you don't keep on it pretty frequently, it gets out of hand. But anyways, in terms of the micro workouts, I've been talking. People like sometimes just rolling dice. I was talking about that today, and that could be a fun thing. But I always tell people, like, randomness for fun, right? Like, I wouldn't just roll dice to select exercises and reps and just think that that's an entire program. But if you kind of set some boundaries ahead of time, and it could also be great just for mobility. Even number. You don't have to have a ton of exercise either. You can do like even number is this, odd number is that, right? And then assign an amount of time for even or odd or whatever. And you could do, crawling and stretches. And that could be a good way just to kind of keep yourself moving throughout the day with a little bit of fun factor or entertainment factor. So there's an idea for you, good sir. But if you want to,
or you can just have microaggressions, just, say something inappropriate and then
like the word guys,
sprint away.
Like all you guys.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here. Here's a good question that is relevant to many people. Our friend Craig says, why is it hard to stick to a workout program? And just, his problem is he keeps shifting and is carried away by new programs, is chasing the shiny new object syndrome. Dan, is this a mindset problem? What's your advice?
Here's how I fixed it. I hired a coach, and there's a comma in the amount I pay. So one thing that helps is you got to invest in the programs you're doing. Like, you go over to Reddit and people want to do, and the kettlebell forum at Reddit is really good. I mean, the people are nice.
It's nice to be nice.
There's probably 2 or 3 that are like, okay. I think my forum at Dan John University is really good because everybody, Joe's on there and some others too here. Good people, good responses, but people will ask, what's the armor building formula? And then and on Reddit, people basically will give them the entire, book and anything I've ever said on it for free. What investment did the person asking the question put in? None. They typed, what is Pat Flynn's Strong On program? Oh, it's 10 sets of clean and jerks with 400 pounds, followed instantly by a 400-meter sprint of 43 seconds. By the way, those are both very hard to do. Good. I'll start doing that. But there's no investment.
Yep.
One of the reasons when people say, why, when I went to my elementary school reunion, remember a couple months ago, how do you train every day? Well, have you seen my gym? I've got 36 kettlebells, 4 Olympic bars, squat rack, incline, leg extension, 2 different hip thrust machines in my garage. People show up every day and train with me. I darn it. I was about to drop the F-bomb there. I invested in my gym. I invest in my community to help me out. And then I send somebody money to tell me what to do, and I do it. I'm telling you, folks, I am from the heart, as best as I can. the biggest mistake I see with people is the lack of investment.
That's true. It's
And
so true.
and investment comes with appropriate coaching. I mean, Joe, you were there. You saw me at the when I go to workshops, I am there. I learn. I drive Larry Draper crazy because I sit in the front row at talks. I take copious notes. I invest, and the more I invest in my knowledge, the more I invest in my gym, the more I invest in my own personal coaching, the more success I have. When people ask me, Dan, what is the secret? I mean, I'm to the point now, Pat, that people are literally coming up to me and say, my God, what are you doing? And I say, well, I lost a pound a month for 4 years. Nobody wants to hear that. What do they want to hear? I lost 48 pounds in 2 weeks, and here's the pill I took. And
Here it is. Right. Here's the this is really important because it's one of those things, right? It's the pill that you have to try to wrap in bacon, but I don't know how to wrap it in bacon, right? Because it's true, right? I mean, when you have, skin in the game, neck on the line, whatever you want to call it, the likelihood that you'll follow through is just significantly increased, right? I mean, there's, and people don't like to be told this because why? Because it usually means spending money, and that's just the end of it, right? Nobody likes to spend. I don't like to spend money any more than anybody else, right? But it is a fact of our lives. So the question to me is not whether I'm going to spend money, but how am I going to prioritize what I'm spending, and what things matter most to me. And there's lots of things that matter a lot to me. And when I think about the things that are most important where I want to develop, I have coaches. I'm spending money. I'm in a PhD program. I have a guitar coach every single week that I meet with. And this is not cheap stuff, but I really care. And this means that I'm not spending money on other things, right? There's real trade-offs. I mean, when I did my RKC, Dan, back at like the peak of the organization, like 2008, 9-ish, that was when it was also like the most expensive. And I was a college kid. I had to use student loan money, right, to get through that, which is kind of absurd, but I was invested. And you know what? I was the most prepared. I did the snatch test in 3.5 minutes, blasted people outside. I was like, I crushed that damn thing. And I'm pretty sure I was the youngest person to ever do it at the time. I was 19 years old, right? I was invested. I was invested. I had, I didn't have like some John Duquesne didn't like, I'm going to give you this for free. Certainly not. I don't know if he, I never got those favors, right? Even after when I was working for the guy to do certs, I still had to pay to right? At Baster, I should. Yeah, I went down and trained the guys at Camp Lejeune, and I still had to pay to research. It's insane, actually, now I think about it. But I was invested, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to tell people because they'll ask me, well, how do you do these things? I've been invested. I've paid a lot of money because I care about spending. I don't like to do it. So when I do it, I tend to follow through. And like anybody else, I know that if I don't invest, my likelihood of following through on something is very, very, very low. And it comes down to simple things with books. Like I just know if I buy a book and I have it in my hands, I spent money, the chances of me getting through that book are way easier than if I just try to see, did somebody put a PDF online, which I wouldn't do anyways, because I think you should pay for books. But yeah, so I don't know what else to say about this aside from this is just something you either have to accept and recognize and lean into, or you could just complain about it and just, be in the same place 5 years from now that you are today.
Well, every weekend I have to send pictures in every weekend. Every weekend I have to send in my measurements. Every weekend I have to talk about my calories and my walking. And, it's not always roses. People die, Moriarty said that in Sherlock.
Yep.
That's what they do. There's weddings, there's travel, but I'm at, I was at Paul's wife's funeral in San Antonio, and I got my 10,000 steps in the smallest airport I've ever been in, walking back and forth with my luggage, and because I did not want to be the one that I didn't want that to be the day I didn't get my steps in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anthony points out that people love to spend money, and following through is, but of course, people spend money on all sorts of trivial things all the time. The hard thing is to get them to shift the perspective and realize, well, look, you're spending all this on your 25 television subscription programs, right?
Yeah.
Like clearly there's some funds floating around here, right? That could be reallocated if you really cared to make the event. But as you say, Dan, being an adult and success is all about, managing compromises and trade-offs. So people need to have, that hard look in the mirror, and you need to have an adult conversation with yourself. And I don't know, that's
Yeah. Well, and those of us, those of you who are in a relationship, if you do drop, $4,000 on an Alico bar and kettlebells, and then you hire a coach at $15,000 a year, and then you put a wing in your house for your gym, and you don't use it, your beloved might be angry, and and so. Now I'm lucky. I'm in a relationship, and the person in the relationship supports 100% what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Big.
Oh, that's a huge fact. Of course. Yeah. The environment, obviously your environment is hugely influential on the sorts of things you do or don't do. And of course, nothing is closer than like your immediate relationships. Right. So that can't, and like, I want to be clear, like there's no guarantee that if you drop 15 grand on some coaching program, you got to get results. There's more to it than that.
Oh yeah.
But this is a basic kind of level of, I don't want to say it's a necessary condition, even if not sufficient, but it's close to it, right? For a lot of people, right? Close to necessary, but not necessarily sufficient if you want to succeed in all this tough stuff, right? Yeah. And the willingness to invest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And we say these sentences out loud, and they're absolutely obvious. When you listen to a good coach like Nick Saban, love or hate Nick Saban. For those of you who don't know, he's an American football coach, but he's always talking about his. There's so much talent at a school like Alabama that everybody has talent. It's the given. Where he goes, the difference happens months before the kickoff is when, that's when the great athletes are the great athletes,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, I say invest. And you don't need, if you don't have the funds, I would suggest getting yourself a fitness buddy, a training partner. But the other thing you'll need to also get is a different person who's your bragging buddy. And that's someone who will talk to you every single day about what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The environment, again, so important. And right. Okay. Good. Let's squeeze a few more in here. Some good stuff. Joe's concerned about the comment we made about Pringles being bad for you. Well, maybe not all the flavors, right?
Yeah. Good.
Pringles. What an invention the Pringle is, right?
Yeah. I was just thinking about the can. I was just thinking, you're right.
The can, you can do the duck bill with them. You can do some. Yeah, the Pringle. I was never a huge fan of, like, I'd always just like the regular potato chips over the Pringles. I think
and then you start eating them, and about 20 minutes later, you're like, I hate these things, but I'm shoveling.
Yeah, they're just like, after you have a few of them, they're kind of disgusting. Yet you eat the whole tin. It's like there's something wrong with the Pringle, man. There's something weird. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. It's like the McDonald's chicken McNugget. It's like, what is this thing? You
ever seen what they make it from? Oh.
I don't want to, but it's like, it's not really a chicken. Like, what is it? Like what is its essence? Don't trust it. All right, let's keep going here. Lots of comments. Here's one from our buddy Dave. He says, I completed the 10,000 swing challenge and the ABC quite a lot of times with a 16 kilogram. Should I get another 16 or 20 or 24? And how should I start with 2 kettlebell training with all this stuff? Okay, so it's a question about progressions and which kettlebell to go to next and how to go to double kettlebell training. A lot in there, Dan. So,
well, if you only have a single 16, you have to make a choice. If you're going to do doubles training, get a double 16. Get 2. But if you want to, if you want to keep chasing the 10,000 swing challenge and some of the other stuff, you're gonna have to go heavier. So
Yep.
it's whatever. If I were you, I would buy another 16 double 20s and double 24s, but that's an
Yep.
investment. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but hopefully it's an investment that will last pretty much your entire life, and you'll get a ton of mileage out of it. We said before, like that double 16, double 20, such a sweet spot for like the average man, right? You get so much mileage from those. I love the double 20s. Just feel for my size and stuff like that. They feel really good.
Yeah, I told you I thought I always had 4 20s, and a couple of weeks ago I cleaned up things. I have 6. I don't even remember. I don't know how I got those 2 extra 20s. Honestly, I think they reproduce at night, those dark nights.
It's funny. So we had some people over. It was Mira's birthday, who's 10 years old now, which is crazy to think about. And somebody was asking me about because we have kettlebells all throughout the house and on the deck and stuff, and was asking me about the brands, and I really don't know where these kettlebells came from, right? They've just appeared. I'm sure people have sent me them. I don't remember really ever. I remember buying RKC kettlebells way back, but other than that, I don't know how these things manifested. They're just there, and there's a lot of them. So they've somehow come to me over the years. Yeah,
I've got this 16 kilo bell that's got. I mean, the handle is it's Mac, and where did this brand? It's called Power Max or something. I don't ever who made Power Max,
Who made that?
And then I got a couple that I bought really inexpensively at this place over here in Salt Lake. It's one of those. They sell things that fall off the back of cars and shipments, But I that was the best buy I ever made. I don't remember buying a 48, but I might have but I don't remember. Yeah, and
it's not. Let's be honest. It's not the most significant event of one's life. Purchasing.
But then I've got all these weird 20 and 25 pound tiny kettlebells that I think I got because I was training those 3 grandmas for a couple of years, and I think I just got them for them. But
yeah,
I don't know buying them.
Yeah. Joe reminds people that Dan's books are only about $20 or so. Not hard to get started, and there's a wealth of knowledge just to keep it. Yeah, I mean, these getting started on the initial investment, some of these things is not a very steep price. I mean, it's what is that? A romantic dinner for yourself at Applebee's, the equivalent. So
funny you say that. Yeah, I do think. Yeah, I mean, I look at what people price books online. I'm always like, I don't know.
Yeah, and he says, I'm sure Pat's books are good. I'll get one when he says Pringles. My book, hey man, yeah, get one. It's like $12 for the Kindle version on Amazon right now. So go grab my book, go grab Dan's book, grab 3 of Dan's books, get yourself started. Yeah. And you'll be glad you did. It's just a little bit of investment. I mean, books are like it's funny when you think about it. And this will be my final rant of the day.
Okay.
But people sell these online courses, which can often be great, right? But they'll be $500. But the amount of actual information and content in that $500 course can be 1/10 of what you find in a good book for $20.
Yeah.
So it's there's a crazy disparity there when you think about it. And I guess some people just like to learn via a course and have videos instead of reading. But I mean, books are such a steal when you really think, if you're willing to invest in a book.
Or you just go to that person's YouTube channel and they usually give it all away. I mean, what percent of the stuff do I give away? 99.9? Geez,
Yeah.
But, and then the reason I do the book thing is to put it all in one place. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not just I do a lot of courses myself, but it's just keep in mind, books, well written books in terms of, dollar, per, knowledge ratio are pretty darn good if you're willing to you're just willing to read a book. All right, Dan, before we go, what do you got coming up? Any final announcements here?
What do I got coming
up? What are you working on? Yeah, all that good stuff. Yep.
I've sent off to publish the Art of Coaching book, so that's in a good place.
Awesome.
And then this is the Do of Coaching, and I'm need to hire someone to be me. But then I'm also working on that extra armor building stuff. If that's something, real quick, folks, do you want another armor building formula book, or do you want just another supplement? Quick,
Let the man know.
Vote.
Let the man know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the wake tonight. I got another quiet couple of weeks. I made my granddaughter Daisy belly laugh yesterday, which is pretty good for a 3-month-old. Which is, it's fun to watch babies laugh because they forget what they're doing. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha.
Yep. Baby laughs are the best. Yeah.
Let's see. Next week starts that kind of fun period of the year where I go to the dentist 3 times a year, but I also the annual physical is coming up, and so I remember a couple. Do you mind, real quick? A funny story?
Yeah, for sure.
I remember one year it all clustered at once. So I had my blood draw for the American Red Cross. I had a dentist appointment, and then I had my physical. And I just remember all of a sudden, I think the dentist was the last. And I had to tell Dr. Seth, I go, can I just take a moment? And he goes, yeah, you okay? He goes, this is going to be weird, but I gave blood. And then I went to the doctors and did all those terrible things. And now I'm here, and it's like I was like freaked out. It was like a 3-day period back to back of having people shove needles and stuff in my body. And I mean that, stuff. Yeah.
All that stuff. Well, anyways, thank you, Dan, as always, for sharing your awesome insights and wisdom. Thank you, gentle listeners, for your great questions. Please like, share, subscribe to the podcast, and we'll see all of you next week. Good.